Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to have a look at the Swatch collaboration with AP. Now I imagine a bunch of you have already heard about this one. This has been up in the air for the last couple of days. A lot of people have been considering whether it's going to be royal oak inspired in the bioceramic that they did with the Moon Swatch. However, we've just had a release this morning that that's not going to be the case. What we're looking at this morning is that it will be a pocket watch. So we've got some footage here to show you. This is from Swatch's actual Instagram. They're talking about the fact that this is going to be a Swatch product that will replicate the Swatch POP style from back in the 80s. Now, many of you probably weren't around when that came out. I wasn't either. But essentially, it was a watch that could pop out of its casing and then be attached to somewhere on your clothing or a strap or anything really. So this is essentially what they're doing with this new design, is calling back to that 80s style of the pop watch. It does also scream a little bit on the pop art side of things with the bright colors, bit Andy Warhol. So it does seem like that is something they are looking to do, is catch vibrant colors, which is something Swatch has always been great at. Swatch have always prided themselves on bright, vibrant colors. So as you can see from these images here, that's exactly what their plan is. Now, if we have a bit of a look over here at their actual website, you can see they do have them listed on their website now, priced at 670 Australian dollars. Now, not overly expensive, not overly cheap. However, I think some people are going to be a bit upset about the price. 670 Australian, which is what, 550, 530 US. That is a lot of money for a plastic watch. It is very cool. If we look at some of these images here, this one, they're going to be showing the royal pop on the actual dial itself with a skeletonized dial, so you can actually see the mechanical movement inside. Now, it will be a hand wound movement, as you can see, water resistant to 2 bar, so they're not going to be sports watches, guys. These are toys, knickknacks, something fun. You know, they're a little bit of fun. They're not meant to be serious. And you can see here, just like the old pops, they do pop out of that actual casing, which I'm guessing would mean you can swap the casing and the strap pretty easily. They'll probably sell different versions. It does have the AP waffle dial texture that we're also used to seeing what AP Royal Oaks look like normally. So having a look at their website here, they do have an array of colors. This one in particular is one that's standing out to a lot of people with the pink, green, and yellow. As I said, guys, very vibrant, very colorful. We've got the standard black and white, and as you can see in this little box down here, we've got the whole collection. And here's some other options. Now, it won't let me manually go through the different color options. It's not available on the website yet. Now, the only way you will be able to purchase these on release, which will be the 16th of May, 2026, is to go into a Swatch store. You actually physically have to go to a Swatch store, arrive early in the morning, and risk it to see if you can get the color that you want. I have heard that people are already starting to camp out the front of the Swatch stores, which I don't really blame them. It's the same with everything. Back in the day with iPhone releases, Pokemon cards, all that stuff, people will queue up for days to get these things. So if you are looking to get one of these on release, you are gonna need to get there well before they open. Probably the night prior, bare minimum. Having a look at Hodinkey's website here, they've got a little article about this one. The main reason I'm pulling it up is just to give you a bit of a closer look at some of the colors and this functionality of the whole pop system, where it just pops out of the casing. And you can see the color options down the bottom. So we have a white with rainbow indices and rainbow screws. And as you can see, it has a clear case back so that you can see the mechanical movement inside. Now, from what I've heard about this movement, it is a new movement specifically from Swatch. So that is something that I think people will be interested in getting, a Swatch mechanical movement. Now, having a look at the other colors here, we've got this sort of pastel colors with the blue and the light, looks like a light greeny kind of color. Yep, that's nice. Then we've got a blue with the red indices and red screws. And the one that a lot of people are talking about, because it's just a lot of fun, is the pink with the yellow bezel and the green dial. Now, this one does have a small seconds that you can see at the 6 o'clock. Some of these will be sold with that extra complication, so that's something to keep in mind. And when they're sold in that format, you can see that they are also rotated inside their casing. So the crown being at 3 o'clock on these models, whereas the crown being at 12 o'clock on the non-complicated models. So we've got a light pink here with a red bezel and a light pink dial and red indices. It does kind of look a bit like a dark pink, hard to tell in this photo. Now we've got the white and black. I think this one will be really popular. I think a lot of people are going to buy the white and black just because the other colors are very, very intense. And I get that's what they're going for, but I feel like this one is going to sell out like hotcakes. This is going to be huge. People are going to buy this one, I'm sure of it. Next, we have the green. Now, this is green on green on green. If you're a fan of green, this is the one for you. I personally, green's my favorite color, so this one kind of jumps out at me, and I would probably look into it if I was going to go get one. And last but not least, we've got the dark blue with the light blue bezel and dark blue dial. Now, again, this movement I think is something that people are interested to see. The color combinations are really bright and vibrant and fun, so I think this is going to be a big seller. I think this white one with the rainbow indices and the rainbow screws, that's going to be really popular as well. As we saw with things like Rolex doing rainbow Daytonas, and also people doing, what was the other one? Oh, the Celebration, Rolex Celebration with the bright colors. I feel like people are more interested in these things now. People are getting more excited about the idea of having a watch that's just bright colored and fun, you know. It is always great to have an everyday watch, you know, something simple, black dial that can go with pretty much everything. But I think everyone should have a bit of fun in their collection, have a bit of a pop of color, maybe something a bit exciting. Ah, there we go. Pop of color. So you can see with this Royal Pop name, that's what they're going for. They're going for pops of color, pop art style, throwbacks to, if you have a look on that bridge. So if you have a look at this bridge just at the back here on the skeletonized section, that dot pattern, that was very, very common back in the Andy Warhol days with the Campbell soup cans and the Marilyn Monroes. He did a lot of artworks where it was compiled with lots of dot imagery. So again, pop art, going for that pop of color, pop. I think you guys understand why it's called that. Now, beyond that, the watch itself is a very funky little thing. It is a pocket watch, so I was kind of hoping they would just go the direct route of making a Royal Oak in the bioceramic. I was really hoping they would just do a bioceramic Royal Oak wristwatch styled exactly like the Royal Oak. We didn't get that. Personally, I would have lined up to buy that, but the idea that they went with something a little bit different, reached back into their back catalog and pulled out this pop style, I like it. It might not necessarily be something that I will use or that I will buy, but as you can see with the fashion trends move, it's really big at the moment. People are wearing a lot of early 2000s stuff. People love the 80s. There's this nostalgia that latches onto things from the past. So this is essentially what these companies are trying to do, is take advantage of that and show you what they can give you that will replicate that. So it is very difficult to go out and purchase a vintage watch that's in good condition from that era. And I don't believe that the Swatch Pops, the original ones back from the 80s, were something that people will be able to get now. They were plastic, they were simple, they're going to be mostly gone or extremely expensive. So to make a modern interpretation of this, I really like that. I think that's fun. You know, again, having a bit of fun with the watch industry. It doesn't have to be so serious. The luxury watch brands, they love sticking to the serious stuff, but the budget ones, they like having a bit of fun. And you'll notice that some of the watch brands for the higher up, some of the luxury brands, are actually starting to do some of this stuff. They are starting to put a bit more work into making things more fun and engaging younger demographics in the watch market, which is something that has definitely worked. The Moon Swatch was huge success. Now that one there, it was a completely new thing. We hadn't seen anything like this before, and when they came out with that, it gave everyone a taste of the Moon Swatch, taste of Omega. Now, you may not be able to afford the $8,000, $10,000 that you would pay for a Speedmaster, but you could definitely afford the $300 it costs to buy a Moon Swatch. So I do like that they are sort of going down that rabbit hole, which again will get more people into watches. More people into the hobby is a great thing. So I really do think it will go well. Additionally, a lot of people have said that this will cause problems for AP as it will dilute their market share and what their product means, being one of the holy trinity when it comes to watches. It's something that people would be upset to see lose its value. But I don't think that happened with the Moon Swatch. I think people understood what it was. People understood they're not long-term products that are going to last. They are a bit of fun, a pop of color, exciting. So I don't think it's going to have any effect on AP's bottom line. If anything, they will sell millions of these watches and make good money on them, which has never been AP's plan. AP's whole thing was we sell quality, top of the line quality. And as you can imagine, this is not going to be that, because Swatch, on the other hand, they don't sell high quality watches. They sell fun fashion pieces. So when we smash those two things together, this is what we end up with. Now, I did have a quick look at Adrian Barker and his latest video talking about the Swatch AP Royal Oak Pop, I guess they're going to call it, the Royal Pop. Yeah, I guess that's the name. Essentially, he's talking about what I suggested, having a plastic, as you can see down here in this video, a plastic bioceramic Royal Oak. Now, we're not going to get that. That doesn't mean we won't get that down the track, but we're not going to get that this time round. He did mention, however, a crossover that I thought could be really interesting, and that's a crossover between G-Shock and AP. And I really like that idea. The whole idea that the Cassie Oak was given that name due to its case shape and its resemblance for the Royal Oak. I really like that. I think that it would sell like hotcakes. If they brought out a product that was an AP Royal Oak crossover with a G-Shock Cassie Oak, tell me you guys wouldn't buy that. I'd buy that. I'd buy all of them, because when it comes down to it, being compared to AP, it's a big claim to fame, but then you'd also get to keep the benefits of a G-Shock, heavy duty, strong, waterproof, all of these things that G-Shock are known for, shock absorbance. You'd get that along with a taste of AP. So I'm with Adrian on this one. If you were going to choose to do a crossover with another company or a collab, AP and G-Shock, that's a winning combo right there. Hopefully in the future we'll get that. We'll see. Now I'm just going to give you guys some close-ups. This is just some imagery from Time and Tide's website, their article about the new upcoming Swatch release. So you can see they do have the waffle texture, as I said before, lots of bright colors. And I think this will sell. And you can see they've got the AP logo with the AP text, and then Royal looks like it's been done in the Royal Oak text as well, the typeface that they use for that. So very cool. Now these are all the reference numbers, guys. If you are looking to purchase one of these, this is the reference number you will need for each of the colors. It is a 40mm case design. It will be, as I said, bioceramic. It says water resistant to 20 meters. Basically what it means is don't get it wet under any circumstance. Don't even take it in the rain. This thing is not meant to be heavy duty. It's not meant to withstand anything. So do not take these things anywhere near water. Now we got sapphire crystal front and back, which is surprising. I didn't think they'd do sapphire crystal, but let's be honest, for the price tag that they've got on it, at least it's sapphire crystal. Beyond that, we've got a calfskin leather stitch matched lanyard. And this is what I was talking about before with the movement. It's the System 51 manual wound movement with a 90-hour power reserve, hours, minutes, and seconds, and it's got sub-seconds on the Lapine models. Now, $400 US, it's a bit of cash. I don't know if a lot of people are going to buy it for that much. As you saw with the Moonswatch, it sold well because it was a budget brand. It was a budget price. It was within reason. People could afford it, $200-300. Then they brought out the 50 Fathoms. Now, the 50 Fathoms was not nearly as popular, unfortunately, mostly down to the fact that it's not as popular of a watch. The Moonswatch has a story. People know about it. It has much more to it than what the 50 Fathoms does, especially outside of the watch world. In the watch world, we know about this watch. We've known about it for a long time. But outside of it, no. So when it comes down to it, I think this price is pretty high. I think the one concern I have is that when it comes to AP, not as many people outside of the watch world even know about AP. So that is something I'm a bit concerned about when it comes to the sales for these things and the price tag for them. Over 600 Australian or 400 US is a lot of money for a watch people may not even recognize. So we'll see how that goes. But personally, I think it will probably sell. I think there will be a decent queue of people, and I think that it will be very popular. Now, I just thought I'd show a quick Google search. Now, this is the Swatch POP style that they had back in the 80s. Essentially, it is, as I said, a watch that can pop in and out of its casing. You can see here, same 12 o'clock crown and the outer casing, which can be removed. This allows it to pop and attach to clothing, lanyards, straps, scarves, anything that was thin enough for the case to still pop closed, you could basically attach this watch to. And as you can see, bright colors, lots of excitement. That is essentially what they're looking to do with these watches. They're looking to make something that's bright and colorful, screams 80s, 90s, and wants people to come and buy them. So I think that's going to be their calling card, is that people these days do love a fashion watch, and I think with the amount of hype built up around this watch, we're going to have a hard time getting one. I will try and get one to review for the channel, but I don't have the ability to camp overnight for the next 3 days waiting for them to arrive. So we'll see how we go. Hopefully we can get one. And as you can see, when it was coming out, people were talking about a lot of different designs. People were coming up with AI generated images. You can see at the bottom here. So after all that rambling, we are going to have to wait and see on the 16th how this watch release goes. I think it's going to be extremely popular. I think they're going to sell out. I think that when it comes down to it, Audemars Piguet is an absolutely beautiful brand. We would all love to own a Royal Oak. I would love to own a Royal Oak, but they're far outside of the regular person's price range. So I think this might give us a taste. I don't know. Let me know what you think, guys. Are you going to go out and try and get one of these on release? Are you going to wait and see if you can get one on Chrono24 or eBay once they are released? And again, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers.